Hello and welcome to Woodbridge, the best town around. My name is John McCormick. I'm the mayor of this great town, and we're here today on a beautiful Friday morning for the announcement of a very, very exciting new project that we've been talking about for a long, long time. But we're on the site of the former Woodbridge Developmental Center on Rahway Avenue. As we all know, that was a home for special needs youth and adults. It was in Woodbridge for many, many years. It was kind of like the fabric of Woodbridge, that we had 500 special needs kids here and adults here and families coming here. It was a very special place. I can remember being here as a Boy Scout cooking burgers and hot dogs for them on a picnic every summer. And then I also remember being here when I was a little older at the Knights of Columbus. We would come here at Christmas and put Santa Claus on the fire truck and hand out gifts. I was actually Santa Claus since I was the biggest and the fattest guy. But that's the kind of place this was. It was an excellent facility, and it was just so nice to have it here in town. The state closed it back in 2014. So in 2015, we started the process of trying to see what we could do to get site control here, because we wanted to make sure that whatever happened here was something that we wanted. So Carol and I were in Trenton for several years. We knew the process. It all went through Treasury. It has to be declared surplus property, which we pushed for. It was. And then we negotiated and went through a whole series of typical state bureaucratic maneuvers to finally, in 2019, close on the purchase of this property. So we bought it for $5 million, which back in 2015, when we started, was not an okay price. By the time it came around to 2019, it was actually a steal. And then we bought 9 acres of Conrail property that was running alongside this land for another $2 million, so we were in it for $7 million. We went through a process to select a developer. We knew it was going to be a warehouse. Just nothing else really seemed to fit. We certainly didn't want apartments here. It doesn't fit retail. It doesn't fit office. It really fits warehouse. It's right next to, right near exit 12, and there's warehouses all around here. So that's what we decided this would be. We had a whole competitive process. 16 different bidders came in. We narrowed it down to 5 and then interviewed everybody and went through the whole evaluation criteria before finally selecting the Morris companies to be the developer. And Keith Morris and Johnny Jones are behind me. They're going to speak next. But we sold it to them for $51 million. Now, this is land we paid $7 for, and we sold it for $51 million. Plus, the reason we loved them as a developer is because they had control to 6 acres of premier diecast, which we had seen in our vision as a new school for Avenel. School 4 and 5 is currently on Avenel Street. It's 110 years old. It's now the oldest school in the district now that Ross Street has been replaced. So we always work with the school board and share our good fortune with them, our financial good fortune with them. So we decided that we would take that 6 acres as part of the deal. So that's probably worth another $8 to $10 million. And there's actually still a couple other stray acres in here that we're going to ultimately have control over and be able to do something. We've always envisioned a healthcare facility somewhere in town, and this might be the perfect spot for that. So the Morris Companies has been an absolutely terrific partner with us. They're great to work with. I'll let them go over the details, but basically they're constructing a 1.2 million square foot warehouse. We are in the Port District. It's vitally needed in the Port District warehouse space. If you have anything, any semblance of a decent amount of acres, somebody will come in and put a warehouse on it. That's how much the demand is for warehouse space. So at this point, let me turn it over to Keith Morris from the Morris Companies and have him say a little bit more about the details behind what you're going to construct here. Keith, oh, there you are.
Thank you, Mayor. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you, Mayor. It's with great pleasure that we're here today to celebrate this groundbreaking. The Silver Oaks redevelopment project demanded an enormous amount of effort, problem-solving, and cooperation among the Township of Woodbridge, the Morris Companies, and our respective attorneys, consultants, and professionals. We at the Morris Companies are extremely proud that with the help of our strong public-private partnership with the Township, and many of you here in attendance today, that we were able to obtain all regulatory approvals, complete demolition, and be ready to break ground to construct a state-of-the-art 1.2 million square foot warehouse. Once constructed, this redevelopment project will have taken the state-closed former Woodbridge Developmental Center that proudly served this community for so long and revitalize the area with a Class A facility that is anticipated to employ more than 600 permanent workers and create many more construction jobs. We look forward to continue our history of engaging union workers and Middlesex and create engaging union workers to erect Morris buildings. The redevelopment will generate substantial property tax revenue for the township and will stimulate further revitalization of the Avenel section of Woodbridge. While we have developed in many towns and cities throughout New Jersey, I am very pleased to tell you that this has been one of the best private-public partnerships that we have been fortunate enough to participate in. The residents of this great town are lucky to have and should be very proud of the wonderful leaders and public servants who not only love what they do on behalf of the Woodbridge residents, but work tirelessly every day to continue to advance the interests and improve the quality of life for Woodbridge residents. All of you truly demonstrate your commitment every day, and the results are absolutely unmistakable. The project would not be possible without the efforts of Mayor McCormick, Carol Ehrlich, Marta Lefsky, Heather Lamata, and Mike Gellin, as well as the Woodbridge Council. I want to specifically thank you, Mayor McCormick, for your support, and Carol for your guidance in helping make today possible. I'd like to express our thanks to our attorneys at Willenson, Goldman and Spitzer and Scarinci Hollenbach for their hard work and perseverance in navigating this project's complexities. Further, this project would not be possible without the hard work and dedication of the Morris Company staff who come to work every day committed to productive redevelopment, and I know who are proud to see this project come to fruition. I also want to say a quick thanks to John Haggerty and Lori, who did a wonderful job putting this event together. I would now like to invite Johnny Jones of the Morris Company to say a few words. Thank you for all being here today.
Thank you, Keith. What can I say but wow, we're here. What a great day for the township of Woodbridge as well as the Morris Companies. Unfortunately, we're not as gifted as the mayor, so Keith and I need to kind of look at our speeches, so forgive us. But we are honored and proud to stand by this community today on what we believe is a great project. A project that will bring hundreds of new jobs. A project that will bring millions of dollars to the town, Mayor. And more importantly, a project that will build a brand new elementary school. But let's be clear, this vision only happens because of one person. And that individual happens to be the Honorable Mayor, John McCormick. But John McCormick is a leader. So I asked myself this morning, why is he a leader? Is it because he can balance a budget better than any other governmental official in the state of New Jersey? Maybe. Is it because he's probably the most knowledgeable mayor in the state of New Jersey? Possibly. Maybe it's because he's considered a mayor's amongst mayors, but that's not it. It's really because Mayor McCormick is a leader, and a leader understands that no great leader can work without a team. And when you think about a team, you think about a vision of what you want to do for your town, what you want to do for your city. So for Mayor McCormick, it's a little bit easy, because when he thinks about development and redevelopment, only one name comes to mind, and that's my dear friend, Carolyn Ehrlich. She possesses the mayor's confidence, his trust. He knows when he signs Carol, a project is going to get done on time, on budget, and as expected. I want to say to Carol, thank you for all those early morning calls.
I miss him.
Thank you for all those pesky emails on asking you questions about this and about that. You have truly been a true partner, and I personally want to thank you for that.
Thank you very much.
But what makes Carol a leader? Because she too has a dedicated team, a team of hardworking individuals, a team of hardworking professionals. To my right, one of those professionals, a planner, Marta Lefsky, not only a planner, but an outstanding actor, something that I didn't know about her when I first met her, and I've had a chance to watch her perform, and she's outstanding. Michael Gillens, I don't see Michael, but Michael, the city engineer. And by the way, Mayor, on my way here, I had a call from Mayor Raz Baraka, and he says you stole Michael from the city of Newark, and he needs him back.
I'm not sending him back.
Also, two other individuals, Heather as well as Cynthia. So you know that both Heather and Cynthia make sure that Carol can do what she does. And for that reason, I want to personally thank Marta, Heather, Michael's not here, as well as Cynthia. I also want to take this opportunity to thank an individual who's been important to this process, and that's Corey Spiller, the 3rd Ward council person here. Corey, thank you for your support. Every time we've called Corey in his capacity as a fire marshal or as a councilman, he's been right there. He's answered the call. And I know for a fact that whenever there's a problem with the council between the mayor and Corey, takes care of that there. So let me finish up by saying, on behalf of the Morris companies, on behalf of Joe Morris, on behalf of Robbie Morris and Keith Morris, Mayor, thank you for being our leader. Thank you. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Johnny, for the nice words. So the second part of this project, we referred to the schools. So we knew we wanted a new school 4 and 5. We knew we had to go out to a referendum to do that. So the way the package is put together is we went out in 2020 for an $87 million referendum. $35 million of that is to build a new school 4 and 5 right at the premier die casting site. That's moving along very well. It's been a very complicated process when the DOE, Department of Education, and the Department of Environmental Protection are involved. It gets very, very complicated, but it's moving forward very nicely. We also put in there the expansion of School 28, Matthew Jago School in Seawarren, the expansion of Lafayette State School in Fords, connecting pods on School 24 in Island, School 22 in Colonia, all kinds of school security, technology upgrades, all those kind of things. And we put out an $87 million referendum. So by the time you take the profit we made from the sale of the land and the taxes that are going to come in this project over the next 30 years, this one project, this one transaction followed by the warehouse, paid for the entire $87 million referendum. So the whole town, every single section of town, every single school in town will see the benefit of this project. That has just been terrific. It's how we passed the referendum overwhelmingly. When you can tell someone it's not only going to not cost you something because the Morris Companies is essentially paying for everything. It was an easy sell, and the referendum passed. And like I said, every section of town saw that benefit. So Johnny mentioned Corey Spiller, who has been a terrific partner. He said it very eloquently. I don't have to repeat everything, but Corey has been involved in this project from the get-go. He lives right around the corner. He's been a councilman for 6 years, 6 and plus, and he's just a terrific representative for people in Avenel and Port Reading. I'd like to ask Corey Spiller to say a few words.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Mayor. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for the kind words. As the Mayor said, this property, Woodbridge Developmental Center, was always a special piece in Avenel. As the Mayor said, I lived 4 blocks that way, and now I live 4 blocks that way. I remember, as the Mayor said, when I was an altar boy, 10, 11, 12, I'd come here and help out at the hand-in-hand festivals. The kids, the young adults, they just loved it. And then joined the fire department. I remember giving out the gifts. So when it closed, it left a piece of, emptiness in Avenel. And you drive by, it was kind of disheartening to see what the property was becoming. And then what you heard, what the property could have been, it wasn't. Thank God for the quick action of the mayor and Carol down in the State House. Thank you very much. And then I was introduced to this project, and I was like, this is phenomenal. And residents would say, what gets you so amped up over a warehouse? I said, it's just not a warehouse. It's what it could be. But when I heard it was the Morris Companies, I'm not trying to blow smoke up anybody's you-know-what, I know this is the real deal. And it's not any town just says, the mayor and the chief of staff and the administration says to myself and my fellow council mates, you know what, this is in your backyard. Here's their phone number, make the phone call, and you can have a dialogue back and forth. And for that, I want to thank both of you very much. From the beginning, Mr. Jones, Mr. Morris, it's a family. It's not a company, it's the Morris family. They have been just extraordinary with the communications, with the residents. And again, we're talking about a warehouse, but we're also talking about a school. Now, I went to school 4 and 5, and just to know what's going to be there, and as the mayor said, the revenue that came in, that not one resident's going to have to be affected by it, is just phenomenal. So once again, I am so looking forward to this project. I'm glad, thank you again for everything. I'm glad we're here at a groundbreaking, and I'm glad to be here. I'm going to say in April for the ribbon cutting, because we're not going to have any snow. It's going to be 60 degrees all winter. And I also want to thank Ian and his team. If I ever have to go and get something demolished I'm going to them because they are fantastic. So once again, thank you very much.
So you've heard enough about Carolyn Ehrlich now from everybody else. As is said, she was put in charge of the redevelopment agency very early. That was our single most important focus in town when we came into office. We knew we had to get things moving. We knew we had to get projects done. We had probably done 20 warehouses, 2 power plants, 2 residential developments with a heck of a lot more on the horizon. It all comes down to Carol's leadership with Marta Levski. So I'd now like to ask Carol to say a few words.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for the kind words. You know, people say to me all the time, Carol, you're always smiling, you're always happy, and it's because of this great job. I get to make beautiful redevelopment happy, bring ratables to the town, bring great projects, and work with fantastic people. The Morris Company, they can't be beat. They really can't. They are all about doing what's right, building in the right way, doing for the community. The effort that they put in to, when they signed up for the school, they said, okay, we'll give you the land, we'll make sure the land is clean and ready for a school to be on it. They had no idea what they were promising. And it turned out to be more money than higher cost than anybody could have anticipated. And they just kept on going. Never once did they complain about how much extra money they were spending. And I really think we've got to give them a big round of applause for being so great. And Johnny Jones is talking about his morning phone call. So I have a habit of calling my son on the way to work and my daughter on the way home if I'm not out till like 10, 11 o'clock. And so Johnny became like my second son, because he would call in the morning and I would talk to him, and then I would talk to Sean later and say, well, Johnny beat you. And so it was always a great way to start the day with Johnny. And I am looking forward to being by their side as they build this wonderful warehouse. So thank you, everybody. And I also have to say a special word before I hand over the microphone. Marta and Heather, the 3 of us make the most phenomenal redevelopment team anywhere in the state. So thank you.
Thank you, Carol. The other member of that team, Marta Levski, one of the other members of the team, our planning director, has been here for 30 plus years in town. When I worked here in the 90s as the CFO, she was working in the planning department. She became planner late in the 90s and has been the planner for probably close to 25 years, the head of the planning department. So I'd like to now ask Marta Levski to say a few words.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm not going to repeat what everyone has said. This is quite a Herculean task with lots of partnership over many, 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 many years. And I'm just really excited about the difference that this will ultimately make to the people of Avenel, to the township as a whole. It really is our next step in elevation and rejuvenation of multiple parts of the town. So, you know, you're going to see people out here for quite some time doing the construction, and you're going to see that also in many of the other sections of the town. So thank you very much, and thank Morris Companies very much, and always thank the mayor and Carol very much for that partnership, which none of this could ever have happened without. So thank you.
So my standard joke when we have redevelopment meetings, site visits, Carol and Marta and Heather go all over the place, and once a month they go to every single project to see what's happening, make sure we have the permits on time, the inspections being done, everything. So most towns will send people on a site visit, big burly engineers, big tough guys, and I send Charlie's Angels. I got Jill, what are they, Jill, Jacqueline, Jill, and I forget their name. Anyway, Heather Farah. Well, that's her real name. Heather, Marta, and Carol go out to these sites. They're all like 5'3", and they put their hard hats on, and they go out there, and they're meeting with 20 guys that are all 6'3" and gigantic, and these three go out there and they make them do whatever they want because they're that good at it. They're also joined by Mitch. Mitch is kind of Johnny in this case. Mitch from the engineering department goes out there with them just to make sure they're safe. So I want to thank Mitch Fisherman because he's the one that's actually out there measuring the concrete and measuring how far everything is from everything else and doing all that work. And he's done an outstanding job. So let's hear from Mitch Fishman. And this job also involves the county of Middlesex. We're working now on the roads. Paddock Street needs to be improved. We're working on putting another traffic light right outside this site to make it easier for the trucks to flow because, like we said, a lot of warehouses. There's 4 warehouses besides this one. This is the biggest one, but all 5 are going to feed out Paddock Street to Rahway Avenue. And it's a lot of work, and there's some property we need to acquire. And the county of Middlesex actually said to us, why don't you let us be involved? Why don't you let us do the light? And it'll go a lot better for you because they can do things that we can't. So our local commissioner used to be Freeholder. Our local commissioner was a 16-year councilman in Woodbridge, and he's been on the Freeholder board now. I believe this is his 5th year, and he'll be running again next year for another term. Charlie Kenny has been a great partner, so I'd like to ask Charlie to say a few words.
Good morning, everybody, and thank you, Mayor. To the Morris Company, thank you for welcome to Middlesex County, and thank you for investing in Middlesex County. The real estate market for warehousing is red hot in this area, as the mayor said, because of the proximity to the port. When you leave this area, the next hottest spot is Phillipsburg and then the Lehigh Valley. So when you're able to find a piece of property in this area that you can redevelop into warehousing that has the highways located right next to it so the trucks go to the highway, it's like finding a gold mine or a gold nugget or a couple gold nuggets. So congratulations to the mayor, Carol, Marta, and the team here in Woodbridge for their work in bringing this to fruition. So the tax revenue that's going to be seen here in Woodbridge is going to be very beneficial. So I just want to say congratulations and thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. So once again, those watching at home, you might not realize that you're going to get the benefit of this project because one way or another, your school and your neighborhood, which is how your property is valued, because everybody knows that a community is known by the schools it keeps, and the better school infrastructure that we can have and we can help the school district with, the better your property values. We don't get in the way of the education system. We let them do that. They let us run our town, but we both cooperate for the benefit of our residents by improving the schools together. So it's a wonderful partnership. And now I guess we're going to walk over to the shovels and do the official groundbreaking. We'll be right back.